guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over an article titled Chivalry Has No Place in the Dating Scene in 2021. And guys, this article is written by a young and definitely not very happy feminist woman. And this whole article is her going on a rant, or shall I say a psychotic rant, pretty much attacking all traditional behavior that was considered to be gentlemanly behavior by men, the type of behavior men used to do back in the day when they actually didn't have their heads bitten off by their dates, such as opening the door, pulling out the chair, that type of stuff. And pretty much she, as you're going to see in this article, sees it as an attack on women in terms of like pretty much you shouldn't be doing this for us because we're equal and all these other crazy stuff. And I'm doing this, guys, aside from the funny part of this, to show you exactly why, to answer the question so many women have about where are all the gentlemen? How come chivalry is dead? Well, you're going to see in this article exactly that. There's generally two reasons why guys don't act like gentlemen anymore, because either one, they are, well, there's no ladies, but one, because pretty much that kindness and those gestures will be perceived as weakness. No joke, they'll be perceived as you trying too hard. Or two, you may be, unfortunately, your screening process isn't too good, and you could be on a date with some gal that's been brainwashed by the feminist movement, and suddenly she'll bite your head off for opening the door or pulling out the chair or something like that. So no guy is going to do these things when these type of things can happen. I mean, I've observed this, okay? And so she's going to go on this psychotic rant. And a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, good. I don't want to do that anyway. Well, you're going to see why, another reason why guys don't. And the women wonder why we don't do that. Well, here's a perfect example. And so I'm going to go through this, guys, and also at the end, I'm going to read some comments. The comments are hilarious, both from men and women, pretty much putting her in her place. So it starts off, it says, people, can I ask you all for a favor? Can you stop taking dating tips from the outdated male-female, gender normative, and the backward accepted behavior created and enacted to continue the fallacy that women are beneath men? There you go, sums her up. That women are incapable of surviving or making decisions on their own, that are to be treated either like dirt or fragile porcelain. This is 2021. The dating scene has changed. Heck, it's not even just men and women anymore. And yet, it looks like some people are still oh so keen on taking their dating advice from this should-be defunct dating rulebook of chivalry. Regardless of whether you identify as a man or a woman, of course she brought that up, dating another man or woman, or non-binary, please, don't you think it's time you take this whole chivalry thing out of the dating equation? I have a very hard time believing that there were dudes that behaved in what is considered to be a chivalrous manner. Now, first of all, to make this clear, chivalry has nothing to do with the modern day idea of what it's supposed to mean. It would have something completely different in medieval times where knights treated each other and all that. And I know a lot of you guys are aware of this. But essentially, she sees an attack on women for guys doing what was considered to be often just nice gestures or decent gestures. To her, it's an attack. I like to see gals like this have real reasons to complain about things in life. She says here, it's just not needed. And she wrote that in giant letters. Here are some things you should give up on. Number one, do not hold the car door. Say you're driving and your date is about to hop in a shotgun seat. Unless your date is physically incapable of opening their side door to the car, please trust them to know how to open. They can open and close that door. There are plenty of ways to show you care. Opening the car door ain't one of them. Now, I tell all you guys, don't do these things. Don't open car doors. Don't pull out chairs. Don't open doors to restaurants. If she wants to split the bill, knock yourself out. But there are a lot of people that, a lot of gals that complain that guys don't do this. Well, is there any wonder why? This type of crap. And again, it's also the kindness is perceived for weakness. Just the other day, I did an article about this guy who definitely, I was convinced, partially convinced it was a woman disguised herself as a man, pretty much yelling at men for not being gentlemen, right? And yet, guys do things like he said they should do, and look what happens. Now, I think this gal here, I don't think she's actually very popular with the guys. And probably this is her just way of lashing out because she's pissed off and angry, as those types usually are. She goes on about the whole opening the car thing. She says, I mean, seriously, guys, do you think opening the car door for women was ever a show of respect? Well, a lot of women do like that, believe it or not. This chivalrous gesture was a power move. Men drove cars, women didn't. I mean, they did, but not in the presence of men on a date, lest that hurt their ego. Similarly, do not open the restaurant door for them either. Okay, so now that you're out of the car, you are headed to the restaurant. Do not run ahead of your partner so that you can open the door for them. They're perfectly capable of doing so themselves. Thank you very much. Again, I tell you guys not to do this. I tell you guys don't be gentlemen, because if the gals want a gentleman, well, they got to start acting like ladies. And nowadays, that's very few and far between. And again, I tell you not to do this because of gals like this, and also because, sadly, that kindness will be perceived as weakness, trying too hard, all that. Because I'm no fucking gentleman, I can tell you that. But the point is, she's biting somebody's head off for doing this thing. But if you happen to be in front of them anyway, then yes, do open the door and hold it for them, because it's the right thing to do. Letting a door slam and shut in someone's face is just rude. Lady, this woman here writing this has it coming to have the door slammed in her face, and I'm sure it's happened many times. Now, yes, it's stupid to just run ahead, leap forward and open the door and all that, but the point is, she's pissed off, she's angry, she's bitter. Let her have real reasons to complain about something. Next one, following that trend, do not pull out the chair. Well, I'd like to pull out the chair when she's just about to sit down and have her ass fall on the ground at the bar. She says, OMG, how many times do I have to say it? Your date, unless physically incapable, will pull out their own chair. Thank you very much. When was the last time you were on a date, honey? Spend that energy on something meaningful. Pulling the chair never stopped the men, usually from tormenting the woman, usually in their private lives. Oh my God. So she's associating a guy pulling out a chair with a lady with doing some not so pleasant things. What message are you sending in the world or your partner by pulling the chair out for them? If anything, every time I see a man make that power move, because trust me, it is, even if you're not aware of it, it makes my blood boil. A power move by pulling out the chair? You gotta be kidding me. How many angry lectures did you go to have this shit put in your head? Really? Again, not that I'm advocating for doing this, guys, because we are in these times, but still. She goes on, chivalry is often deceitful anyway, so why do you insist on practicing it? Again, what you're talking about chivalry has nothing to do with what it really was. Do not order for your partner. Okay, I'm actually okay with this one because I think that's just stupid. Okay, that was never chivalry, it's just obnoxiousness. But I have to add to the list in case of some numbskull out there thought it was anything but. And unfortunately, contrary to popular belief, BS like this still happens. It happens to me not too long ago. She was actually on a date? Okay, it was pre-pandemic, but that wasn't all that long ago either, right? Even though it feels like it was. Again, I'm still baffled that she actually went out on a date. Does anyone really think they'd score a second date after assuming you know your date's choice of drink on the very first date, without bothering to ask them ahead of time? Is it written on my face that I prefer hot chocolate if we were at a coffee shop or over black coffee? Man, clearly she woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning when she wrote this article. This nonsensical brazenness of this particular power move is just so sickeningly dumb. Next one, splitting the check. This is going to be where a gal's pissed off about a dude actually wanting to pay for the bill. Believe me, plenty of women are more than happy to have the dude pay for the bill, but there's also types that will bite your head off if you do. I'll never forget the story. This has never happened to me, but I'll never forget the story of a buddy of mine who went on a date. This is a couple of years ago. He was telling us this, and they were having a great time. And the day came, he was going to pay the bill. It wasn't that ridiculously expensive. It was kind of it wasn't a very expensive bar. They're having burgers, pretty casual. And the woman bit his head off for wanting to pay for the bill. I mean, she really did. And he was just like, what the hell? And this was a first date, I might add. Had he gone for one drink, he may have seen maybe her true colors when he tried to buy her the drink. But he wasted an hour or so of his time and money. Bit his head off. Needless to say, he never reached out to her ever again. Splitting the check. I never understood why the man has to pay for the first date with a woman. It's like screaming out loud, I'm better than you. You couldn't possibly be making more money than I do, woman. That is not at all what they did. In olden days, it was considered the dude asked her out, he invited her out, and he's going to pay for the dinner. Okay? Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm all for nowadays splitting the bill because, hey, equality. But the point is that this one is taking it as an offense. That it's some awful thing the guy's doing, some power play, she puts it. Get the fuck out of here. She says, boy, oh boy, you're up for a surprise, aren't you? Anyhow, kill that tradition, please. For start, most dates these days at the very first one. Imagine one person having to foot the bill on all these. Nah, just split it, will you? How many dates has this chick gone on? I mean, I see there's like a little picture of her. I can see part of her face, but I really don't know what she looks like. I mean, unless maybe she's good looking and she's disguising it or something like that, I just can't see dudes lining up to go out with someone this nasty, this obnoxious. Getting this bent out of shape over this shit? Wow. She goes on, if that first date goes into the second, and then a third, and then a fourth, and so on, and you consider yourself together then, and only then consider paying for the other person. If both parties are financially stable, then you may even decide to alternate between who pays the bill. Again, I got no problem with the whole the check splitting thing, but this anger over it, this attack on her sovereignty, on her womanhood. Again, how many lectures by very angry ones has she gone to? How many rallies? Now, doesn't that sound fair? Also, check this out. The next time you get in a fight, rest assured, they won't be able to say to their friends and say, and I even paid for that B word every single time. Ha! Well, I'm sure they've said the B word about you more than a few times, honey. Be fair and equal in a relationship, guys. That's all I'm asking. We cannot demand equality and equity when we, and by we I mean mostly women, also want to be treated differently, even when it's something as trivial, but is it though a dating etiquette? So there you go, guys. That is her charming little psychotic rant going on there. I mean, if women ever want to question why guys don't do these things, why there are no gentlemen, that's a perfect example. Okay? Or, again, like I said, that there are plenty that will see that kindness as weakness. So, I tell you guys all the time, for different reasons, don't be gentlemen. Why should you be? Because we sure as hell, we have more of these types popping up every day. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the tide is turning anytime soon. And is any wonder so many guys, yet another example, why so many guys just, imagine going out with this, or enough times with someone like this in varying degrees. You're not going to do that again. You'd certainly improve your screening process. Now I'm going to go over a few comments here, some both from men and women about this, and you're going to see their take's pretty funny. The first comment, this is from an older guy. He looked like, just at a glance of his picture, he looked like he was about easily 50 and up, 55 and up. So he's obviously old school. He says, I was taught by my mother to respect women. He's old school. It wasn't that long ago. I open doors and women thank me. I taught my young daughter to expect that and other courtesies from boys and men. What you are advocating, though, you're pissed off. You pissed off little juvenile man bashing as a loss of civilized manners. Excuse me, but F that. And again, this guy's old school, and he said he raised his daughter to expect that and everything, so we shall see. But the point is, this guy's old school, and he's like, pretty much, what the hell, lady? Another one, this is from a woman. She says, by reading your rant, angry advice on dating, I assume you're not more than 25 years old and have many, many psychological issues that need some sort of therapy. I agree. I'm an independent professional woman that earns very good money and I can afford anything I want to, including my own dinner and my invitee. But when it comes to dating, I want a gentleman who opens all the doors for me, holds my chair, pays the bill for the date he proposed, and who's capable of banging me like a rock star behind closed doors. She's redeemed herself with her little demands there when she had the little banging me like a rock star behind closed doors. I will pay for sure a lot for him if we keep dating. It's not and has never been all about equal, girl. Now, believe me, Miss High and Mighty there is going to be in for a rude awakening when she's not going to get many guys pulling out chairs and opening doors like that. But the point is, she's saying this girl is just angry as hell and definitely needs some therapy here, and I agree. Another one, this is from a woman. She says, I cannot speak about your LGBTQ references. It's not who I am or I am a part of. However, regarding heterosexual relationships, if this is how you feel, then why even date a man? Maybe just sit across the table from a full-length mirror. What is the difference between being a male or a female then? The differences are what make heterosexual relationships grand. Polarity and tension between the two creates the passion. Sounds like you've completely lost any sense of femininity or what it is like to be womanly. Yes, she's angry as hell. And masculine as hell, I might add. Because no feminine girl is going to act like this. And the last one, this is from a dude. He says, wow, what a confusing life you must lead where every sign of respect and equality is taken as a sign of disrespect and inequality. Exactly. But, guys, this is what we're dealing with nowadays. And, I mean, just... It's like, where did all this shit begin? We know where it began, but it's just got worse and worse and worse. I mean, there are genuine reasons to be upset with things in this world. This world's got plenty of problems. But if this is what types like her are ranting and raving and putting all their time and energy in, I mean, there are other things certainly she could work on in this to improve this world. But that, bitching and complaining about pulling out chairs and opening doors and all that, I mean, you got to be kidding me. But this gives us something to laugh at and something with me to share and to show you again why things have gone the direction, at least with guys, as they have. So if a lot of women that may complain that there are no gentlemen out there and men don't behave like gentlemen, the next time they want to label themselves as an feminist or supporting of feminism, be aware what that movement is producing. These types. And as a result of these types and the type of gals that mistaken a guy's kindness for, they perceive the guy's kindness for weakness. This is why the gentlemen have pretty much become an endangered species, because of crap like that. So for these gals that think that, oh, yeah, I'm an feminist, I support them. Well, understand who you're supporting and the ripple effect of their behaviors having on dating, relationships, and men. So, anyhow, guys, that'll be a good one to go. I'm sure you'd find this one entertaining as I'd have. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, have you ever, unfortunately, ever been on a date with someone like this? I mean, not intentionally, of course, but ever just, your screening process wasn't too good and you ended up with her for a drink or coffee. Let me know how it went. And also, guys, like I always say, if you ever come across a really good article that you'd like me to cover in a video, by all means, email it to me. If it definitely works, I'll certainly cover it. And that also includes any good personal stories, things that you have gone through, things you've overcome. Make sure you write out well, and I'll definitely cover it down the road. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.